Should you roll over your 401k or other retirement plan when you leave your job or retire? Today we're going to discuss the pros and cons so that you can make a smart decision. Hey there, it's Alex and Anthony from One Degree Advisors, and we help you gain confidence in your retirement. So Anthony, a lot of people, maybe they have a 401k or other type of retirement plan, and either they're retiring or they're leaving their job. And so they're wondering, well, should I move this account over into an IRA? Should I roll it over? And for some people, that is like the default. But today we're going to discuss why maybe that's not always the right solution. So we're going to talk about some pros and some cons of, again, should you roll over your 401k or other retirement plan into an IRA? And so let's go through the pros first. The first pro is organization.
Having your finances organized and understandable is really half the battle of planning. So when people have multiple jobs and they have all these 401ks or other retirement plans spread out, it makes it very difficult, as opposed to rolling it into an IRA can be consolidated. And this even really becomes much more important when you get to required minimum distributions and have to start taking those out.
And the thing is let's say even if folks have one 401k, right? They don't have multiple 401ks, you still have to deal with the administration of that 401k plan. Remember, you don't work there anymore, right? And so like maybe you don't get all the updated notices or filing requirements, things like that. That has been something that at least I've personally found over the years where, people, let's say they leave it at their old job site, it's just so much harder to do any type of paperwork, transactions, etc. So even if it's just one, sometimes it can be harder, and organizing it into an IRA makes a lot of sense. The second pro here is the investment options that you have inside of your account.
That's right. With the 401k, you're typically picking from a list of investment options, and that's it. And maybe the 401k has good options, but let's face it, with an IRA, it really opens up the universe to get your costs potentially lower, to expand your investment plan. And this kind of goes back to the organization part of it too. If you have multiple 401ks and you're trying to deal with multiple investment plans as opposed to having everything consolidated in an IRA, maybe you impose a tactical strategy with that. It makes it much easier.
The third thing here, and it's kind of like investments, there's cost to investments. The third thing here is lower costs.
Yeah, you can get things really low if you want to. If you want to go with the cheapest ETF and index funds out there in an IRA, this may be a much better option than a 401k, which could have high cost funds. Even if the funds have relatively low costs, sometimes there can be other administrative fees that are part of the 401k. Many times they're hidden. If you do really need to dig into those costs, you need to get the summary plan description of the 401k and really find out what you're paying.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're likely going to pay some fees on the 401k side. It's not necessarily about, are you paying fees? It's what are you getting for the fee that you're paying, right? So if I'm going to pay fees on my 401k, but I'm not really like getting any advice or any benefit from it, that's probably not a fee that I feel like I should be paying or I'm getting any value from. We charge fees for the advice that we provide, but for the fee that we charge, we do comprehensive investment management, financial planning, tax planning, retirement planning, cash flow, estate, the whole gamut. And so again, it's not just about the fee, it's what are you getting for the fee. The fourth thing here is there's no what are called qualified charitable distributions from an account like a 401k.
Yeah, those QCDs, we've talked about that strategy quite a bit because when tax reform happened in 2018, far fewer people are getting a tax benefit from their charitable distribution. So once you get over 70 and a half, giving directly from your IRA to charity is a huge tax advantage most of the time. You can't do that in a 401k. You can from an IRA.
Yeah, and it really is one of the most taxed advantageous ways to give. The last pro here, and then we'll start moving on to the cons, is you need to think about if you have employer stock in your 401k plan.
Yeah, that's a strategy called net unrealized appreciation. Basically says if you have employer stock in your 401k, you can evaluate it. It can make sense to distribute that outside of the rollover, but you can't pick and choose. You can't just distribute the stock, implement this strategy and keep the rest in your 401k.
The NUA strategy or net unrealized appreciation, that's a pretty complex strategy. So definitely consult with your financial advisor or tax pro before you consider anything like that. But for some people, it can make a lot of sense and save huge tax dollars. Okay, let's move on to the cons here. We have 3 quick ones. The first thing here is premature distributions.
I probably see this as the biggest reason to stay in a 401k if there's within an age window of age 55 to 59 and a half. And here's the reason why, is because taking out of an IRA prior to 59 and a half will produce a premature withdrawal penalty. However, in a 401k, as long as you retire or leave the job in the calendar year that you turn 55, you can withdraw early, so that window between 55 and 59 and a half.
Yep.
Now, you can't leave a job at 53 and then hold on to the 401k until you get to 55. Yep. That doesn't work.
That's a common misconception, right? People go, well, I retired, at 53. I didn't get a new job, and I still have my employer plan there, so can I take the money out? And the answer is no, at least that's the way the current law stands. So let's move into the second con here, which is creditor protection. Again, why would you not want to roll over your 401k into an IRA?
Yeah, so 401ks have federal credit protection from bankruptcy and other things. IRAs are governed by the states basically, and states have different rules around that. There is still usually some level of creditor protection. It just may not be quite as comprehensive. Now, we usually recommend to our clients, in addition to having really solid, homeowners insurance, auto insurance, is also to have an umbrella policy, which you can get pretty cheap to get a good solid coverage, and this can help alleviate some of that concern.
And the third and final con here, again, why you would consider not rolling over into an IRA is you can't delay RMDs if you're still working.
Yeah, so leaving your money in a 401k if you're still working, that way you can push back your RMD. Now, we've talked about that before. That's not always the best thing, is just to wait and then you have this really high distribution later on. But you can eventually, you leave it in there for quite a while if you want to.
Yeah. Now, again, one of the big topics in this video is discussing required minimum distributions, and we've previously posted a video on the updated changes to RMD ages. Folks can watch that video above. Once again, this is Alex Okagawa at 1 Degree Advisors. And if you'd like to learn how we can help you with your retirement, visit our website at onedegreeadvisors.com/get started.